Castle, a lot of memories, I'm sure. But a ball game here where both coaches, when we talked to them before the ball game, looked at coming in for different perspectives of what they're going to be trying to do. Your thoughts about this ball game tonight from Coach Wilson's standpoint at North and from Coach John Leidy at Castle?
Well, talking to the coaches before the game here, Mike, we got a chance to talk with Mike Wilson, and I think he feels like his team is just at any time getting ready to bust loose. Those were the words he used. Feels like he's got a lot of talent, which is typical of North. They've had good skill players in their past. You can go back several years and look at the guys that have gone on and played at the next level. So I think the feeling that I got and you got was that he feels like any week here he's going to put this team together and surprise some people. On the field, notice with the Knights, big as usual. I was really impressed. It's been a while since I've been on a football field, but taking a look at some of their skill players, some of their wideouts, the height, just the physical stature of the kids. I just don't think they were that big when I was playing, even as a kicker, being a little guy. But was impressed with them, and that's the kind of football that they play. John Leidy, it's indicative of power football. I think that's probably what we're going to see again tonight. You're looking at a team that's going to try to win the time of possession, win field position, going to run the ball hard, probably run up the middle, but still have those skill players that they can probably open it up with. So we're looking forward to an exciting game, and happy to be back here. It's been a while.
Glad to have you aboard, Scott Bunnell from Castle. As a lot of pregame festivities going on, we'll take a 2-minute break and talk more about that. A 2-minute break. You're listening to Indiana High School football on News Talk 1280. And our prayers and thoughts go on this day of prayer to all the families who have been touched by the tragedies. And I imagine, Scott, there probably isn't a family in the country that in one shape or form has been touched by this. And obviously a lot of discussion, a lot of talk being brought about in the pro level and the college level being played. But game preparation in the high school, maybe not the fact that the communities need to identify, and there's not a lot of travel in these games in high school. That's why we're playing tonight.
Yeah, I mean, where do you even start to begin to talk about the tragedy? And I think it's a two-sided coin. You got to get on with life, and I think that's what we're doing here with this ball game. But at the same time, I know we're going to take some time in remembrance of the victims and their families. And, just when you want to talk about it, you're just speechless. What do you say?
Well, please direct your attention to midfield for a very special presentation. Tonight, the Indiana High School Athletic Association is honoring a man who has made a significant contribution to high school athletics in Indiana. Dan Egursky of WGBF is being presented the Distinguished Media Service Award from the Indiana High School Athletic Association. Since the inception of this award in 1984, a broadcaster or sports writer from each of the IHSAA legislative districts has been recognized annually. One of the reasons that high school sports have prospered in Indiana is the strong support they have received from the news media. This is our way of saying thanks to those people who have given so much time and devotion throughout their careers. Dan Egursky is a native of South Bend and a graduate of the University of Evansville. For nearly 25 years, Dan has enriched our lives while serving as a broadcaster in southwestern Indiana for WTCJ in Tell City and WGBF. Making the presentation to Dan is Blake Ress, the commissioner of the IHSAA. Also with us tonight from the IHSAA Executive Committee is Castle Principal Cecil Raymond. They are joined by Jim Russell, the IHSAA Sports Information Director. On behalf of all 387 member schools of the Indiana High School Athletic Association, we salute Dan Egursky and thank him for his many years of dedicated service to high school athletics.
Again, a big round of applause for Dan Egursky, the sports director, being given the Distinguished Media Award by the Indiana High School Athletic Association. Certainly a well-deserved honor, and not only a good friend, but a great broadcaster here on WGBF. We'll take a 2-minute break. We'll talk more about this football game as you're listening to Indiana High School football on News Talk 1280.
Friends about Wilmington.
I really enjoyed working with their service people, the people who came out to
Well, as you all know, Mike, being in the media business with yourself, Northwest Indiana and down here, I mean, it's a job that, that's not an 8-to-5 job, and you have to enjoy what you do, and I certainly, do that. I enjoy.
Probably everything when you share people, some of the funny things that you've gone, and we remember we're a family show here, Dan.
Oh, yeah. Just working with all the great people I've had a chance to work with, whether it's in sports or news at the radio stations. I mean, that stuff is, you do this, and it's a day that, everything that the country's went through this week. I mean, it's a day you never know what you're going to endure and what's going to confront you, when you get up and go to work every morning. And that's what I like about the media business. And, of course, these games, you just never know, who's going to...
As
tragedy at the hands of terrorists. Because of this outrage, we as a nation and as individuals have paused to grieve and to reflect on our loss. Now, as we continue to mourn our deceased and look to our nation's leaders to do what is necessary and right, we go on about the process of living. If we do not go on with our lives, then those who perpetrate the madness have won. We gather here tonight, at least in part, to pay tribute to the innocent victims and heroic rescuers who have paid the ultimate price. This is one way that we can begin to heal ourselves and to show that life does go on. We now ask for a moment of silence to honor the spirit of those victims and heroes, to be followed by our national anthem.
It was a pretty special moment they had here. They brought in a fire truck and with the extension boom shot out over onto the field, big American flag, and of course everybody's thoughts and prayers are with the families of the victims, and of course the victims in New York City and in Washington, D.C.
Well, certainly the focus and attention of the rest of the world, but these young men, sophomores, juniors, and seniors, have a focus on the football field tonight, and certainly a matchup of strength and size for the Castle Knights, Scott, along with some decent size, but maybe quickness for the North Huskies, and they talk about keys to the ball game, no turnovers, and coming up with good ball possession, and 5 or 6 key plays in any ball game can certainly sway the win or the loss for either team.
Absolutely. When we got a chance to talk to Mike Wilson before the game, the head coach of the North High School, he made a comment that against, I believe it was Henderson County, his team put the ball on the field 11 times and lost the ball 6 times. On top of that, had two interceptions. So turning the ball over 8 times it just makes it very difficult to win. However, he feels like he really does have the talent, and that talent, in his own words, are just ready to break out any time here and surprise some people. And then, of course, you've got Castle, who historically is a powerful football team. I don't think we're going to see anything different from them tonight. I said earlier in the show that I was impressed with their size, and it'll be interesting to see how North can deal with that.
The toss of the coin won by North. They've elected to receive. The starting lineup on offense, the centers will be Nick Mercer. The guards will be Mike Elliott and Nathan Mercer. The tackles, Jason Gregory and Josh Gertzman. The tight end, Nick Rabin. The split end is Eli Etheridge. Jeff Stinson will be the flanker. The quarterback will be Matt Becker. The fullback, Lawrence Taylor. And the tailback, Kendall O'Donnell. That's how the offense will line up for the North Huskies. On defense for the Castle Knights, the defensive ends, Chris Waterbury and Blake Newton. The defensive tackles, Andrew Burke and Bruce Sparks. In the linebackers, you'll have Aaron Key, Seth Hawkins, and Jake Schmidt. The cornerbacks, Corey Bradley and Brandon Hale. Diedrich Finn and Brandon Roop will be the safety. So that's the starting lineups, as we'll have kicking off for the Castle Knights, Marshall Shipp, the senior. And we're just about ready to start Indiana High School football here, the Southern Indiana Athletic Conference, as Shipp will kick off. And deep for the North Huskies will be O'Donnell along with Chris Clark. So glad to have you here tonight listening to the ball game wherever you are. And if you've got time, come on out to Castle Stadium here in Paradise, as we're just about ready to start the ball game between Castle and North. I'm Mike Stavara along with Scott Bennell, as you're listening to Indiana High School football on News Talk 1280 WGBF in Evansville, Indiana. Scott, a great one. Great to have you around. And the North Huskies, right away, they're going to get the ball first.
That's right. I'm glad to be here. You've only had a few people warn you, though, that you're keeping some bad company. So
I certainly had that. Shipp to kick off for Castle, a high pooch kick. It'll be taken about on the 33-yard line and hit and fumbled. Yes, that kick was up to Leroy Bates, and a couple of players just tattooed him. But the ball, fortunately for the North Huskies, rolled out of bounds. Coming in at the fullback position, we talked about is Lawrence Taylor, as we've got Kendall O'Donnell, as they'll give it up to Taylor on the option over the right side, and not much running room at all, as you've got 10 blue shirts over the line, over the ball there, as the ball carrier for North. So it's 2nd and 7 on the North 37-yard line. Very quickly, Becker back to pass, looks for the tight end. The ball is tipped and intercepted by Aaron Key. And Key drops it on the 40-yard line and returns it back 3 yards. So just like that, there's the turnover against North. And 1st and 10 Castle. As very quickly, Brandon Roop, the quarterback, gets his team to the line of scrimmage, as they'll give it to the big fullback over the right side. That is Chris Fox, 5'11", 190-pound junior. Fox, coming into the season so far, has been the leading ball carrier, Scott. 41-yard line just underway here at Paradise, Castle and North.
Looks like,
as they'll give the ball to the tailback, that's Ray Everhart. Everhart, the junior transfer from Boise, gets it close to the first down marker, as they run it off the left side that time. They'll give Everhart a pickup of about 5 yards. Everhart getting his first.
Castle puts her on that play.
3rd down and 1 for the Castle Knights, as Roop will quarterback sneak for the first down. It's the first down of the ball game, as behind that big offensive line for Castle, we're looking at Hunter Fields, the center, Bruce Parks, and Joe Delbiel, the guards, Heath Libert, and Patrick Milliken, the tackles, Jordan Baker, the tight end. As Roop, they'll mark the ball at the 25-yard line. So, 1st and 10 for the Castle Knights. As they'll give it to Everhart this time over the left side, and nowhere to find. As very quickly, defensively, coming up, led by Nick Raymond for the 22 and counting remaining in the first quarter. First possession for the Castle Knights on their own, or rather on the north 27-yard line. Everhart straight up the middle, no running room there, and very quickly, good pursuit and good gang tackling by the North Huskies on the bottom of the pile. Raven along with Mike Elliott that time, and guess we'll have to give Everhart about a yard on the play. 11 on the north 26-yard line. Play action pass. Dietrich Finn, his leading receiver, is spread out to the left side as Roop will stop that. Oh, and he's hammered. Good defensive effort then coming in from the defensive end position. That's Greg Graves, and he came in untouched, Scott, and dropped Roop for about a 5-yard loss. Yeah, receivers out to the left side in the I formation as Roop straight back to pass, getting pressure, and he'll throw it, and it is incomplete on the left side, and a late penalty flag being called. Wow, if it's pass interference in high school, there'll be a penalty, but we'll see what the call is here first, Scott.
Flag came in kind of late, but I believe it was a good call.
As the referee, some discussion, pass interference against North. So North fumbling the ball to Castle in the second play of the game, and now on a 4th and 16 play, they have a pass interference penalty. That will be the first penalty of the football game.
You know, you hate to see that, Mike, because North had a couple of downs there where they were really playing some good defense. They had some good pressure on Roop that time. And really, I'm not so sure that, where the pass was thrown, I'm not so sure that was a pass that Finn could come up with. I mean, it was in the area, but a tough break for the North Huskies.
They'll move the ball all the way down in a fresh set of downs to the 16-yard line. So the North Huskies digging themselves a big hole, but Coach Mike Wilson, his defense has been stout so far as they've been pushing back the Castle Knights as we'll have man in motion this time. Roop will give it to Everhart over the right side. Good running room, and he'll get it down inside the 10-yard line.
Castle had a nice surge that time. Big hole.
It's driving, and this will be their 8th play of the drive so far here, as we've got just one man in the backfield. That is Everhart, and he'll give it to him around the right side. Skirts around the right side end, knocked and spilled down by O'Donnell about the 4-yard line, but that'll be good enough for the first down for the Castle Knights. So
had a good steal and so pick up some good yardage.
We got Fox now in the tailback position as they'll give it to him following Waterbury around the left side, and no running room whatsoever as a good defensive effort that time by the white-shirted North Huskies, and on the bottom.
Got the ball inside the 5. They're going to try to push it in.
Got an eye with a wing left, man in motion on the left side, and we've got a whistle, a stoppage of play, a flag on the ground. We'll see what the call is. Got 6:14 remaining in the first quarter of the football game, where the penalty offsides against Castle. So that's it.
Or maybe even a pass into the end zone.
This is the 10th play of the drive as they'll go in the eye with a slot or counter back on the left side. Roop will run the option, pitch to Everhart. Everhart along the left side. He gets runs out of running room and rolled out of bounds. And it looks like he'll pick up about 5 yards to get that penalty back. Good job by O'Donnell.
Castle spread the field.
3rd and goal as wide side of the field to the right, and another penalty flag. As again, we'll go the I formation on the left hash mark, wide side of the field to the right. As the wing back will be in motion. They'll give it to Everhart along the right side, and he's snowed under. Good defensive effort there in the bottom of the pile for the be from about the 17-yard line to 27 yards. The snap goes away, and Ship's going to fall on it, and it'll be at the 32-yard line of North. So
Well, just as we sit there and talk about...
Never had a chance. So
no, he didn't.
Quickly, North gets the football back as they'll give it over to the right side. And that's the fullback, rather the tailback, Kendall O'Donnell. And they'll bring the conference, but in the state of Indiana, being recruited by a lot of Division I teams, as they'll give it to O'Donnell again over the right side, and he'll get across the 35-yard line. And I'll check that. That was Chris Clark. The ball
pick up some good yards.
A couple receivers to the left side. Becker, maybe a chance to use the wide side as they'll give a trap play up the middle, and nothing going there as Andrew Burke hog ties the ball carrier for the North Huskies, Lawrence Taylor, and Taylor will lose about a yard. Becker standing inside his own 25-yard line. He gets the kick away, and it's partially blocked. Aaron Key got a hand on it. The ball rolling around, and
it's picked up by Wesley Morgan there, Mike.
Morgan did a good job of coming up with the football along the sideline, and it will be placed at the North 43-yard line with exactly 3 minutes remaining in the first quarter. So Castle gets the ball twice deep in North territory. North was able to... Just underway, 9 minutes gone in the ball game. No score, as we'll have Zach Willett, our producer, talking throughout the area, getting scores for you. We'll be bringing those at halftime. And now we have the referee's whistle being blown.
Serving Evansville for over 30 years at 1925 West Franklin Street at Wabash. James L. Will Insurance.
Back at Castle High School, Mike Scavar along with Scott Bennell as the Castle Knights start the ball 1st and 10 on the North 40-yard line as they'll give it up to the fullback, Castle. That'll bring up a 2nd down and 11 as Roop, 3-step drop, will air it out over the right side, and it's the pass intended. Bring up a 3rd and long situation for Castle, 3rd and 11, the ball in the North 41-yard line as they'll give it up the middle to Ray Everhart. Good running room. Straight up the middle. Breaks one tackle, another. Gets down and hit at the 5 and scores. Ray Everhart, the junior, getting his first start. He broke a couple tackles on the next level, and we had one man to beat. That was Jeff Stinson about the 5-yard line. Stinson got an ankle, and Everhart, that ball carrier like you want, leaning forward, gets the good yardage and dives into the end zone. So with 2:08 remaining in the first quarter, the Castle Knights score first.
What a hard run. Broke a couple of tackles, and then there we see some of the speed that Castle is having this year. Nice run by Ray.
As Marshall Schiff now, the attempt for the extra point, puts it up and through, and the kick is good. So with 2:08 remaining in the first quarter, the Castle Knights lead North 7-0. We'll step aside for 60 seconds. You're listening to Indiana High School football on News Talk 1280.
Name it. If it needs cleaning, Hasco Cleaning Systems does it. And now for a limited time, get 10% off carpet cleaning when you mention you heard this commercial on WGBF. Locally owned and operated Hasco Cleaning Systems, the quality company. Call 468-4166.
Bonded Trust Mosley Contracting and Reconstruction Services, a proud sponsor of high school athletics.
Back at Castle High School, Marshall Schiff to kick it off for the Castle Knights. They lead 7-0. The high pooch kicking into the 30-yard line, and is taken there and dumped by a good coverage that time by Castle. Coming up to make the tackle was Jeremy Smith on number 19, Jeff Beck, and Beck caught it about the 30 and returned it.
Coverage time to get down the field and cover the ball.
North in their third possession. They'll quickly pitch it out to O'Donnell on the right side. Can't find any running room. We'll cut back to the left side. Oh, he's got a sea of white shirts, and coming across, catching him from the side is Dietrich Finn. Finn, coming from the safety, flowed to the defensive left side and came back along with O'Donnell and was able to shadow him. And O'Donnell probably ran about 30 or 40 yards to pick up 3.
When you talk to people about Castle, the defense is about the best defense they've seen at Castle in a while. And a lot of the reason being is because of the speed. And I think there was a good example of that Finn coming across the field to make that tackle. That was pretty impressive.
That'll bring up 2nd down and 7. They'll mark the ball on the 35-yard line as they give it to the second back through. And that is Chris Clark. And Clark, very quickly out and picks up close to the first down as they'll run on the I formation, receivers to either side. As Beck, the trap play up the middle for the fullback, as he'll get yards, but not too easily, as grabbing on the tackle.
It's going to be tough running up the gut there.
There we go again. They'll run the option with Beck around the right side. Gets running room, gets through the secondary, and is spilled there by Roop, but not after a first down, as Matt Becker on the option play around the right side. Football on News Talk 1280.
Hey there, sports fans, from Pizza Chef of Newburgh Plaza. Pizza Chef, the post-game place for...
Time of possession, probably a key in this first quarter. 7:03 for Castle and 4:57 for North. As give it up to O'Donnell out of the I formation. O'Donnell will move it up across the 40 down to the 35-yard line, as Andrew Burke picks up that doing the bulk of the carrying for the Castle Knights. As North 2nd and 3 from the Castle 35-yard line. A little play-action pass motion as they'll give it off to the second man through, and that for North was James Bell. First carry. That'll bring up a third down and about 5 for North. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. They'll run the draw to O'Donnell. He breaks 1 tackle but can't get away from Aaron Key. Key helped out along that time with Burke along with Waterbury. We'll give 2 receivers out to the left, 1 to the right, the I formation, as Becker rolls out left to pass. Set, throws, and caught. And a good jumping effort is the tight end, Rabin. Rabin tackled immediately that time down, and a fresh set of downs for the North Huskies on the Castle 24. Very quickly to the line as they'll give it up to the tailback, O'Donnell, and he gets through the first line of defense, but Andrew Burke, well, the North Huskies, very disappointing 1-3 to start the year, but Coach Wilson said this might be breakout time, and they've certainly showed it here as play-action pass this time by Becker, being honored by a couple defenders, rolls to the left and is rolled out of bounds, looking for one of his receivers deep into the end zone, but it was got good coverage. But on the play, Becker was able to pick up some yardage close to the first down. Needs to get down to about the 15-yard line to pick
going out and gaining good yardage.
Well, again, 4-down territory, so a couple of plays to pick up 1 yard. Maybe a quarterback sneak here by Becker. No, they'll give it to the fullback on the option play. They'll fake it, and then they'll pitch it. Becker pitches it to O'Donnell. The ball hits the ground, comes straight up to O'Donnell, and O'Donnell grabs half as we're at 8:25, and the North Huskies on their third possession have moved it down to the Castle 4-yard line. They'll give it to O'Donnell along the left side, close to the goal line, as a couple of Castle defenders on the bottom of the pile. That's Key along with Seth Hawkins, but not after they gave the ball.
Seeing what we see here, I wouldn't be surprised if they try an outside play here.
Well, Becker has been optioned a couple times successful as they'll give it to O'Donnell along the left side, and he's in for the score. Kendall O'Donnell gets the touchdown with 7:40 remaining in the first half as O'Donnell.
They had the ball tonight.
Garth Cheek will try to tie the ball game up. The kick is up. The kick is good. So it's 7:40 remaining in the high school football on News Talk 1280.
Teamwork is the pride of every athletic team. C.H. Robinson Worldwide prides themselves.
Castle was Corey Bradley. One more bounce, and that ball was going out of bounds, and Castle would have had it on their own 35 if they elected to take the 25-yard kick rule. But now that's, in essence, about a 21-yard penalty because Castle will start 1st and 10 on their own 14-yard line.
I mean, effectively what you had there, Mike, was a coffin corner kick with a little bit of help from Castle. The kicker put it right on the sideline, and the guy deep for Castle.
I want to know, did you brand that? Is that how why it almost was a coffin corner?
Yeah, that's right.
That's how you did it here? Okay, they'll run a trap play up to the fullback, getting good yards, breaking out to the left side is Fox, the favorite, and they still might win the ball game, but North is making it very difficult for the Knights as they'll give it off to the tailback over the left side, maybe close to the first down as the ball carrier, Everhart, they'll give him the yardage for the first down. I've got unofficially Castle with 5 first downs. They've got a fresh set First and 10 on their own 24-yard line. Roop, second back through, gives it to Everhart, and going nowhere because he was in the grasp of Josh Gertzman. And Gertzman, the 6'2", 290-pound senior, facing a second long situation. Couple receivers to the left side as Roop back to pass. Looking downfield, leads one tackler as the ball hangs up and it's intercepted. O'Donnell intercepts about on the 43-yard line. 3 remaining in the first half. North gets the ball back. They scored their last possession as they'll very quickly get up as they'll give it to Clark. Clark nowhere to run, and a great job by Aaron Key that time. Chris Clark looked like he had a hole, but all of a sudden Aaron Key from his middle linebacker position made the tackle. He's one of those.
Interesting to see here. We've got North in the power eye.
As they'll keep it on the ground again. They'll give it this time to James Bell. Bell, the second carry in the contest. He'll get it out across the 40-yard line, mark it at the 41, give them maybe a generous 3 on the play. Well, I tell you what, you have not seen the ball.
They've just had some mental mistakes.
For the North Huskies with 4:05 remaining in the first half. The option play, Becker along the left side, gets running room, gets going, and just like that, ran out of room because Diedrich Finn from his safety position said, "You'll go nowhere," as he's set to kick it away. Cheek standing inside his own 30-yard line, gets a good rush, gets it away. High kick bouncing about the 30 as the Castle Knights will let it roll dead. So for the Castle Knights, they'll get it first and 10 on their own Huskies, and Castle will get the ball first and 10 on their own. Just they'll mark it on the 27-yard line with 3:15 remaining on the first half clock.
That's going to be interesting to see here. North's got 7 guys playing both ways. We'll see if that becomes a factor in this game.
Man in motion from left going to the right as Roop gives it to the first back through, and yardage begrudgingly as the fullback coming up, making the receivers to the left side. Again, it's slot man in motion to the right as Roop gives it to the tailback. Seconds, runs into his fullback. It breaks to the outside, breaks 1, 2 tackles, and gets it across the 40-yard line. Picks up the first down before he was tackled by Gregory, but that's
and what you got to comment on there, Mike, is the balance that we saw from Everhart. Nice job keeping his balance, hit several times and stayed up.
That speed, something maybe that Castle has not had traditionally all the time. Roop, 3-step drop, looks left, throws right, and it's caught, and down the right sideline. A good catch and run, that time by Brandon Hale, and Hale picks up the first down. Roop, his first completion, and that goes from the completion for Brandon Roop. And very quickly, Castle on the option, the left side, pitches out to Everhart, finds running room, breaks a couple tackles, gets it down inside the 15. They'll mark it at the 11-yard line, and up on the tackle
for 11 yards. So broke out there with a big play, and similar to the play that we saw there that was intercepted. We just had a receiver in the area that time. So
Castle with 1:27 and counting gets it down to the North 11-yard line. Very quickly, they'll get it up to Fox along the left side, breaks a tackle, gets inside the 10. They'll mark it at the 8-yard line, and O'Donnell brings him down as Castle will call timeout. We'll keep it right here as Fox will give him 3 on the carry. So with 1:17 remaining in the first half of the football game, Castle 7, North 7, but Castle deep one of these North. This is where they've had the breakdown. So they've already stopped Castle once and made him kick a field goal. They can stop him here. That'll be big going into halftime.
Absolutely.
They'll give it to Everhart. No! Roop takes it and keeps it. Follows Fox and Everhart along the left side. And Roop picks up the first down. And they'll mark it inside the 5 down to the 1-yard line. So a good changeup on the play that time, Scott, as Roop carries it down from his own 8 to the 1-yard line. And we have 1:07 remaining in the first half. First and goal for the Castle Knights on the North Husky 1-yard line. As they'll bring up
that faked me out, Mike.
They'll bring up the 2 tight ends with counterbacks to either side. Maybe Roop on the quarterback sneak over the left guard, puts it up close to the goal line. No indication from the referee. Obviously, he must be about a yards short. I guess, what do we do? Give him about 2 feet because he was on the 1 yard line. Let's be generous and give him 1 yard. That'll bring up 2nd and goal, and we've got another timeout being called by Castle with 35.7 seconds. One more timeout left, the ball on the 1 foot line, 2nd and goal. Castle with a lot of options here.
Yeah, you know what's going to happen. We're going to see them come out in the power I and try to push that ball right up the middle. I'd be surprised if John Lighty does anything different. He's got 2 plays really here inside the 1 foot line, and I think the attitude's going to be, you know, if we can't beat them and beat them up front and push them back, then we don't deserve to score.
Well, again, looking on the other side, the defensive side of the ball for the North Huskies, a big play here, and obviously they're maybe looking for a turnover or doing something, and they're going to put all that big beef up there. It's going to be strength and size against size, and really you might see Roop try to do it again. The less you have to worry about a handoff or a fumble or something of that nature. And of course you've got Brandon Roop, the senior, 6'1", 195 pounds. That's a pretty good sized running back as well. Here we go. 2nd down and goal. Roop will try the right side this time, twist around, and it's good.
And he just kind of find a hole there, Mike, is what he did. Tried to go up over the center and just kind of rolled off to his right and just fell into the end zone. So good surge up front by Castle, and the result is 6 points.
That comes with 32 seconds remaining in the 2nd quarter. The 73 yards and I believe 8-play drive, as we'll have Marshall Shipp try to give Castle back a 7-point lead with 32 seconds remaining here in the first half. As Shipp will try to put the ball up. It's almost blocked, but it's straight through. So with 32 seconds remaining in the first half, the Castle Knights regain a lead, 14-7, as that is a big change up for Castle, and certainly something North at halftime is going to have to overcome, Scott.
Yeah, I think so. And what we saw there really was North was a victim of a big play. You know, I was really impressed, and I am impressed by the way North is playing defense. They just got themselves in a hole with a long pass, and the result is, you know, you get Castle inside the 10-yard line there. Especially, you know, we had 2nd down and a foot, and it's going to be tough to keep those that big line up front from getting any kind of surge.
Well, stay tuned to halftime, as we'll be bringing you area scores, and we're going to have a couple of gentlemen from the Indiana School Association, Blake Rest, the commissioner, and Jim Russell, the sports information director, and we'll have statistics, team statistics and highlights and through. And a reminder also, stay tuned after the ball game tonight to Network Indiana, as Bob Love will be bringing you all the scores throughout the state of Indiana here, as we'll have Marshall Shipp kicking it off. And here's that pooch kick. As a kicker, Scott Bunnell, do you like this where you just kind of, or do you always wanted to put it in the end zone?
We didn't really do this much. A lot of times you're just trying to avoid, you know, a guy running the ball back and keep it away from an individual that's deep for the other team. And I'm not sure if that's what we're trying to accomplish here, or if or what Castle's trying to do.
Well, it's up there, and it's being fair caught this time, as the fair catch, I'm not quite sure if it was Pete Knoll or along with Eli Etheridge, but the Castle Knights pooch kick comes down, and they'll move it inside the 30-yard line. They'll mark it at the North 29. So North with 30.9 seconds got to go about 72 yards.
And, you know, Mike, that's what that kick is designed to do right there. I mean, you know, we had a fair catch by North, no run back. I mean, that's the whole idea. Don't kick it deep. Kick it short and high. And, you know, no big plays here before half is what Castle's trying to do.
Well, when you put the ball up in the air, they say 2 out of 3 things can go wrong. So Castle, North is going to keep it on the ground. They'll give it to O'Donnell on the right side. He runs out of bounds after picking up some pretty good yardage. They say 32-yard line, so give O'Donnell about 7 yards on the play, as unofficially I've got him for 8 carries and 34 yards. And that stops the clock with 25.1 seconds remaining in the first half.
You go good speed to the outside there. You know, got out of bounds, stopped the clock, so really a pretty effective play.
Again, maybe do it again 1 or 2 more times, and then maybe try to go deep right before the half. As Becker, receivers to the outside, either side. O'Donnell gets the ball. It's fumbled, and there's a scramble. Could this be a turnover? As no, they'll give it to Castle. Castle, looks like big number 35, Seth Hawkins, the 5'9", 190-pound senior, and that could be huge, as that's the second turnover. An interception, now a fumble, coming now with 19.9 seconds, and just like that, the turnovers have dogged North all year. It could hurt them one more time, the Huskies, as in territory of the Huskies again, the Castle Knights for the third time in the first half, starting on the North 41-yard line, and maybe either going deep to Finn as play action. Roop steps back, throws off to the left flat, the ball's intercepted. A short pass, 16.1 seconds.
Well, I don't know if it looked like maybe Greg Graves came up on a blitz that time. I don't know if you saw that or not, Mike, but Roop was in a position where he was having to throw off his back foot, and really effective defensive strategy there by North.
Well, Dietrich Finn out of the ball game, and he does the bulk of the receiving. He's had 13 catches for 177 yards and 3 touchdowns, and he's out of the ball game here. So maybe Coach John Leidy, he's going to say, I'm going to take the 7 points and put it in my pocket and go in. As they'll give it to the fullback Fox. He picks up the first down, gets into the secondary, and gets all the way down to the 25-yard line. So Fox, about 16 yards in the first down, picks up good yardage, and with 10.7, Castle calls timeout again. So a big run for Chris Fox. And now, let me ask you this. Scott Bedell, you're the kicker. Did you ever try one this long? Because what would this would be? The ball's at the 26, you add 17.
It'd be
a 43-yarder.
43-yarder. Yeah, and I think watching in pregame, Marshall Shipp, I think he's got the leg to make it. So, we're on the left hash here. I don't know if John Leidy's going to try to go for the field goal. If he does, I wouldn't be surprised if you see him run off tackle right. I'm not sure how they setting with timeouts.
Well, that's their last one.
That's their last one.
The decision time here, do you try to get it in the end zone, or you try to run it, run a sideline pattern and get Shipp maybe 5, 10, 12 more yards? So, again, the big turnover, North, as they were tied going in to just 32 seconds remaining in the first half. North turned the ball back, and Castle a chance to get some more points on the board. They lead 14-7. As a couple receivers out to the left side, as Roop takes the snap, straight back, looks downfield, throws across the middle. Oh! We got pass interference.
And I don't know, it didn't look like they were going for the ball. That's a pretty tough one to try to get away with.
I think I might have been able to call that one, as that's the second penalty against North. Got both of them pass interference by the secondary, and this one could be huge, as it looks like maybe Coach Leidy is maybe going to set up for the field goal. 6.7, as that's a 15-yard penalty. Actually, maybe half the distance. They'll move it from the 25 down to about the 13. But again,
those are just critical parts of the field where we're seeing pass interference on North. That's twice inside the 10-yard line where they've interfered with one of the Castle receivers, and you just wonder if it's going to turn into some Castle points there before half.
Well, I'd put about 3 defenders on Dietrich Finn, because I think you go long in the end zone, I'm going to try to alley-oop it up to you.
I'm really surprised that we're not seeing Castle try a field goal here.
Well, I think they're going to give it one more shot, try to get to 7, and then maybe settle for the 3. But again, Scott Bedell, a former kicker at Castle, he wants that, and Roop just spikes the ball. Not quite sure what all is, but now they're going to bring in Shipp. So the ball on the 13-yard line, you had 17, 7 back, and 10 for the end zone. So this will be about a 30-yard field goal attempt.
Watching here, too, North has had on the 2 extra points that Castle has kicked some really good penetration from the outside. Be interesting to see here. Number 17, Kendall O'Donnell, has had some good penetration.
Well, Shipp will try to add 3 more points with 5.6 seconds remaining in this first half. Snap is bobbled hold, but Shipp gets it up, and it's good.
That's excellent concentration on Marshall Shipp.
As we've got 17-7.
On that field goal, what we saw, Mike, is a fumbled snap, and as a kicker, that's tough to try to maintain your balance and your flow through the ball. And Marshall did a good job getting that ball through.
Well, as that one being set up, that a 30-yard field goal by Marshall Shipp with just 0.2 of a second remaining on the clock. And that set up by the fumble recovery by the Castle Knights and Seth Hawkins. So turnovers have definitely hurt the North Huskies in this ball game so far. So the Castle Knights lead by 10, 17-7, with just 0.2 of a second remaining here in this first half.
I think what we're going to see here, Mike, again is another, we'll call a pooch kick, which is going to be just a high floating kick from one hash mark to the other side of the field in an attempt to keep North from having any kind of run back, because obviously North is going to have a hard time setting up with 0.2 of a second left on the clock.
Well, Shipp ready to go as High School kicking it off from the 40-yard line, as he'll just kick it high, as Scott talked about, as the fair catch being caught, and that's the end of the first half. So here at Castle, we've played 24 minutes with the score. Castle 17, North 7. We'll take a 2-minute break as you've been listening to Indiana High School football here on News. To start the second half, as North won the toss to start the ball game. So an important play here for the North defense, as they've got to try to keep Castle from getting more than the 10-point lead that they have here thus far in the contest.
And North really needs to come out here and have a good defensive stand. It was a really unfortunate turn of events there at the end of the first half. And, I think if they can come down and put on a good defensive stand, get themselves right back in the ball game, 17-7 is not a score that's insurmountable.
We'll have kicking off Garth Cheeks for the North Huskies. Just underway here in the third quarter at Castle, as the Castle Knights lead the North Huskies 17-7. As the ball kicked deep and close to the goal line at the 5-yard line. Castle, that will be Aaron Key bringing it up, and a good tackle that time coming down was Pete Knoll, one of the starting defensive linebackers, and Aaron Key takes it up to 5. As the Castle Knights, 1st and 10, they lead by 7. In the backfield, receivers are either side, and very quickly to Everhard. Everhard finds no running room whatsoever on the right side. As a reminder, stay tuned to News Talk 1280 after the ball game, as we'll have Bob Lovell and Network Indiana bringing you not only the area scores in Southwest Indiana, but throughout
plays and capitalizing.
So it'll be 1st and 5 now, as they'll put it on the 34-yard line, as they'll give it to the fullback up the middle. Good yardage that time by Fox, as carrying it across the 40, and good for the first down. Indiana University certainly, we've got to maybe try to get them. We cover them on, of course, News Talk 1280. We certainly got to get them off the path. We were going to carry the IU Kentucky game. Obviously, that's not happening. On the option play, Rue pitches it to Everhard, and Everhard's nowhere to go. Lucky to get back to the line, an advantage in the first half as well. I formation, a couple of receivers to the left side. Rue play action, straight back, looking for receivers, and he goes down. Good time that by the secondary, keeping the receivers covered, and big number 70 for North this third quarter did what they wanted to do, stop Castle on their first possession. The ball resting on the 35, Shipp standing about his own 20, no pressure, gets it away. The ball bounces about on the 36-yard line. It's a good Castle roll inside the 25 down to the 23-yard line. So Shipp gets,
and they're playing a good football game.
Receivers left and right, a couple to the left, as they'll give it and fakes up the middle, and no, they do give it to the fullback. They fake the end around, they give it to the fullback, Lawrence Taylor. Taylor will get it up across the 25 to the 26 yard. The man next to me, Scott Bunnell, 261 points. Anthony Thompson, the all-time leading scorer for Indiana, with 412. As they'll give it up the middle, O'Donnell breaks to the outside, still going on his feet, and finally it gets across the 35-yard line and is tackled by...
Seems like the success we've seen with North's running game has been around the end.
As Becker, play action, rolls to the left, sets, plants, throws deep, and the ball is tipped and dropped. The ball is underthrown. The receiver out there was Jeff Stinson, and he was behind the defenders.
A little bit there, but almost a big play there for the North Huskies.
Two receivers to the right, as we've got 2nd and 10. Becker, straight drop back, screen pass. and the ball complete to O'Donnell. O'Donnell up the right sideline, good running room, and he'll pick up a first down deep into Castle.
Spread the field here. They've had some success.
Well, second down, they've got it on the 25. They've got to get to their own 47 as Becker eludes a couple of defenders and finally is rolled down. Good defensive effort, good pressure that time as coming all the way across the field defensively was Jake Schmidt, and Becker is dropped for about a 5-yard loss.
Sideline there.
Well, Becker has been back to pass. He's only completed one pass in the contest, and that certainly has hurt the North Huskies. 6:13 remaining in the third quarter. Castle 17, North 7. Becker back to pass again. Gets a rush. Flushed out. Gets away. Gets past the line of scrimmage. But there to stop him for about a 3-yard gain for the Castle Knights. Coming up doing a nice job was Blake Nettle. So back to kick it away again. This will be the third punt of the ball game. Is Cheeks. He's standing inside his 10. No pressure.
Nice punt.
Gets it high. Backing up the receiver is Key. Catches it about on 37. Gets the outside. Gets the block. Gets another block. Cuts it back and gets it down to the 25-yard line. But that could block. A flag on the play. They'll say blocking in the back on the 47-yard line. So a return for Aaron Key of about 37 number. He leads all-time field goal kicking for Indiana University. As we've got a man in motion as they'll give it to Everhart along the right side. Eludes one tackler. Stutter steps and can't go any further as give Everhart maybe 1 or 2. 17-7 Castle over North. That was our score at halftime. We're under 5 minutes here remaining in the third quarter. As receivers either side as they'll give it to Everhart on the left side. Finds running room. Gets one away from one tackler. Gets away from another tackler and fights up yardage upfield for about 8 yards and very, very close. Transfer finally approved by the IHSA. Did not start last week, but has certainly done well here, close to 100 yards here in the ball game and adding up, and that's what shows that North is down by 10 points. As Roop will give it up straight up to Everhart, straight up the field off the right side, and gets good yardage, and then is hammer the game. We'll give you some highlights of this contest, and afterwards we'll have in Network Indiana Bob Lovell after the ball game. As Roop, quarterback, sneaks over the right side, will pick up a couple of yards as the clock dips under 3 minutes in the ball game.
As we can see what's happened here with some of the penalties of
Castle, a 42-yarder to Brandon Hale that helps set up a touchdown as they'll give it to Everhart along the left side, gets good running room as they basically had 9 men on the line of scrimmage, offensive line of scrimmage for Castle.
Run the ball off the left side for good yardage.
So the Castle Knights into North territory, moving the football. This is their second possession. Same play again. Everhart this time is spilled. A good job knifing in from his defensive side that time, and we've called his number a lot for a long run, long pass possibly.
They're in a little bit different set. Back in the power eye.
Receivers either side. As Roop, a long count. They'll give it this time to Aaron Key into the ball game. His first carry of the contest.
31-yard touchdown pass from Brandon Roop to Dedrick Finn, who tight ropes the sidelines and then goes in for 6.
Warbeck gets on the pass to Finn as Finn in the ball. We're back at Castle High School. The Castle Knights get on the board. They lead 24-7 as Marshall shift the kickoff as the ball fielded about the 25-yard line by North, straight up the field as the receiver will get it across too long as the North Huskies, couple receivers to the right. They'll run the option to the right side with Becker. He keeps the ball, spins away, gets about a 5-yard gain as he'll get it across the 35. 60 seconds. You're listening to Indiana High School football on News Talk 1280.
Dearly beloved, Jeffrey and Susan's knees are knocking like bongo drums. They don't need flowery wedding talk. They want to protect their stuff.
Minutes basically for North versus 20 minutes for Castle.
And again, we'll look at that offense. There's a quick pass out there in the first quarter, the first play of the fourth quarter from Becker, and just a quick pass out to the right flat.
Well, my hair, we're getting ready to start here.
Well, you go ahead and take it. We'll go from here. As we give it across to the right side, good running room out to the outside, and first down is James Bell. Bell did a nice job moving from about the 37-yard line, and they'll give him the ball game. as the North Huskies very quickly, as Becker back to pass across the middle, and going up high in the air is the big tight end, Nick Rabin, and Rabin comes down. That's his second catch of the ball game, and another first down. As good athletic move there by Rabin. As
his first catch was for 12 yards.
Very quickly now, North on the move again over the right side, the ball carrier for the North Huskies, and that is Kendall O'Donnell. O'Donnell, that's his 9th carry.
To 195 in favor of Castle.
All right, that'll bring up a 2nd and about 6 as Becker play action rolls left, throws left, ball, intended that time before Chris Clark, and coming up with a great defensive effort for the Castle Knights. Coming up with the tip is Brandon Hale, so doing double duty on the offense and defense.
Of multi-model transportation, C.H. Robinson, with their resources of 146 offices worldwide and contracts with over 25,000 different motor carriers, can get you shipment from anywhere in the world. Depend on C.H. Robinson for your day-to-day shipments anywhere in the world. With a team like C.H. Robinson, you are a winner every time. C.H. Robinson, a proud...
The North Huskies have to go for it.
They got to have this.
As Becker will give it to around the right side is Lawrence Taylor, and he goes nowhere, and the ball goes over to Castle on down. Curious call there with 8:53 remaining in the football game. The Castle...
Run it out, make some first downs, and run that clock out.
As Roop will give it to Everhard. Bounces out to the right side, being chased by Rabin and pulled down by the shirt collar by Nick Rabin. And they get Bossy. They've just been snake bitten. They've come up a little bit short here as they'll give it up to the fullback straight up the middle. Nowhere to go that time, as a good job that time by North against Chris Fox. Power eye, maybe fake up the middle and give it around to that wingback. But no, they'll give it to Everhart. And penetration that time by the North Huskies defensively, led by Greg Gross.
To put his defense on the field, no big plays, no chance of interception there, keeping the ball on the ground.
Marshall Schiff standing about his own 5-yard line, the line of scrimmage about the 17-yard line, and they're going to let the clock run.
At 220 North Weinbach, Evansville, Don Willis Auto Sales.
High school football is fun, not because of who wins or loses, but because everyone participates and everyone wants to do their best. This season, whether you have a youngster involved in the sport or not, make time to take in a game and root hard for the kids. This message brought to you by Gabe's Oil Catering to Southern Indiana fleet owners since 1946.
Trail by 17. As very quickly on the roll to the right, quarterback Becker throws out, overthrows, and it's caught. It looked like he overthrew the intended receiver, but going up high was Eli Etheridge, and Etheridge did a good job among the couple defenders.
That play.
Well, the North Huskies, they've been in Castle territory, but Castle's bent just once. As Becker goes back to pass, can't find anybody, scrambles, gets good yardage, hit by a couple of Castle defenders, and rolls out of bounds after picking up about 5 yards on the play. So Matt Becker unofficially now 6 carries, 21 yards in the contest. West Indiana. Stay tuned to News Talk 1280 as you're listening to high school football here on WGBF 1280. As Becker back to pass. Plenty of time. Over the middle. Rainbow to Rabin, and Dick Rabin, an excellent try on a one-handed grab. Couldn't come up with it, and the ball falls. Got the first score, led 7, but North came back and tied it up at 7, but everything's been Castle. As they'll try to run the screen again, Becker is flushed out by 4 or 5 defenders, and we got 2 or 3 of them sprawled on the ground. I think they're just trying to look for extra oxygen. As Becker, 4th down and 8, North has to go for it, Scott. As they have Becker back to pass, scrambled, and he's down. He's rolled down that time, and Castle will get the football back. As an excellent job, give credit to Bruce Sparks coming in and tackling Becker for another about 5-yard loss. But more importantly, the Castle Knights get the football back with 4:50 remaining in the football game, and they get it on their own. In the last 32 seconds of the first half, Castle put 10 more points on the board as they'll give it straight up the middle, getting good running yardage and good line surge that time. Third quarter, they put 7 more on the board when Roop found Dedrick Finn for a 31-yard touchdown pass. As again, straight up the middle, Not much yardage there, a big pop. They run the option with Roop. You might see a fake up the middle and maybe Roop try to get it around end. No, but he steps back, 3-step drop back. Pass intended for the tight end, and it's intercepted. A good job that time staying home playing defense is Lawrence Taylor. So they tried to fool him to pass to the tight end all over, and North gets it in Castle territory. Quickly, Becker rolls right, throws deep, throws it up. Finn knocks it down.
Again, there's that jump ball. Finn was unable to come down with that one, but he did put 2 hands on it.
As Castle defense, Scott, they're dropping 7 back and just keeping the 4-4 rush, and Coach Wilson then tries to counteract that with the running play, and decent yards for James Bell. He gets it across the 40 down to the 35. They'll mark it at the 34-yard line. Wide side field to the right, so Becker maybe play action, go rolling to the right. No, they'll give it up the middle for the first down, as they'll give it to Chris Clark. So Clark picks up.
Not going to beat themselves.
The North Huskies get the ball back with a 1st and 10 after the timeout. A couple of receivers off to the left. Now they move Rabin from the left tight end to the right tight end as they'll fake it, now give it to the ball carrier. That's Clark. Clark finds good running room, rolled out of bounds that time by Finn, and he's close to the first down and will be in the play if they get the score with any time on the clock left. Receivers left and right in the I formation as Becker will run the option to the left, pitches it out to the ball carrier, James Bell, and coming up defensively, a good job that time was Aaron Key along with Brandon Hale.
Off open on a serious injury.
And we got the ambulance here in front of us as they'll give it out to the right side is Bell. Bell finds running room, and he's close inside the 5. They'll mark it at the 4-yard line. So a good job by that offensive line on the right side gives North another first down, and I guess they'll mark it down to up to the line of scrimmage, and they'll give it over the right side one more time. Bell is hit. Twist. Did he score? Yes.
He got in.
James Bell moves it in from 1 yard out.
We've got a flag on the field here. I think it's going to be from activity after the touchdown. I'm not sure who that's going to be on, but there is a flag on the field. I suspect the touchdown is good, and we'll see something maybe on the extra point.
Doing a job as we're going to have the extra point being attended by Garth Cheeks here. Try to cut the lead of Castle down to 14. The kick is up, and it is good. They took a while to say, and it looked good from here, but you never know until they say. So with 1 minute remaining in the football game, the North Huskies, and we'll keep it here, Scott, go 59 yards and score on a 1 yard run by James Bell. And Garth Cheeks kicked, actually maybe 21 players standing about 10 yards apart from each other, waiting for this onside kick from Garth Cheeks. What do you have to do on an onside kick? You're a kicker, Scott. What do you try to do?
Well, you got to hit the top of the ball. You want to get that on that second bounce. You want it to jump up in the air to give your team a chance to get up and recover it. Basically, create a jump ball about 10 yards away from where you're kicking.
Blue and white shirts collision, but they won't have any of it as they pile up, as they had the all-hands team up there and catching it on a good effort there for Castle was John Graham. And Graham all night here, North just with a couple of key turnovers at some inappropriate times in the ball game as Roop will take a knee, and it takes his time taking a knee, so coming in, and rightfully so, was Greg Graves, and he collided with Brandon Hale there, but referees very quickly got that under control, and we'll have one more deal down, and the ball game will be over.
Yeah, I mean, I still can get that sense, and Mike Wilson talked about it before the game. It just seems like they're just an inch away. They're not. They're definitely not out of this ball game. They didn't get blown out. They just had some penalties at some key times, some turnovers, and didn't capitalize on some Castle mistakes.
As Brandon Roof, the quarterback for Castle, will kneel down one more time, does so, and that will be the end of the ball game. So at Castle here, Castle will go on to 5-0, and North will drop to 1-4. Our final score: Castle 24, North 14. We'll be back in 60 seconds to talk about this ball game. 60-second break. You're listening to Indiana High School football on News Talk 1280.
Expressions. Express yourself.
Give your rooms a new look this summer at the Expressions Summer Sale. Expressions has a wide selection of sofas, sectionals, sleepers, chairs, and ottomans, and so much more, and over 1,000 fabrics. The choice is yours. Expressions design consultants will give you as much or as little help as you like in the store or in your home. Only Expressions lets you customize to create your own masterpiece, and they'll build and deliver it in only 45 days. They also offer a lifetime warranty on the frame and springs. Decorate your home your way and save at Expressions Summer Sale. Do the decorating you've been dreaming about at Expressions on Green River Road just north of Morgan Avenue.
Expressions. Express yourself.
Close your eyes and imagine the home of your dreams. Do you see Grandma's handmade quilt and lovely hardwood floors, or an open living room with the sun shining through and squishing your toes through the plush carpet? ERA First Advantage Realty, the Tri-State's leading real estate company, helps people find the home of their dreams every day. Stop by ERA First Advantage Realty office today on Bogle Road behind Eastland Mall in Evansville or on the Lloyd in Newburgh. ERA First Advantage Realty, the only national real estate franchise that can say, we will sell your home or ERA will buy it.
Back at Castle, our final score, Castle 24, North 14, as a good ball game being played in here as the Castle Knights go to 5-0, Scott, show their number 4 ranking in the state in